Mr. Ventures. I hope that you're actually out tonight and shooting under the new moon weekend. Unfortunately for myself, I'm not able to get out because we had some clouds roll in and some rain. However, I have to say I did get a surprise, unexpected night to go out and shoot last night, and I went out and I captured the Bubble Nebula and up near Cassiopeia. And so that'll be a video coming soon. I'm going to edit that. That's one that I had never expected to get. But my project this past week has been working on the Pac-Man Nebula. And in working with the Pac-Man Nebula, I shot quite a few hours over the course of a couple nights in a row. And previously, I told you about how one of the things that you can do in Deep Sky Stacker is you can, and I'm setting it up here, and you notice I loaded my picture files, the lights, and I loaded them up, and then I clicked on the register check pictures, and this is how we could go ahead and score the images and see exactly, the quality of what we've got. And to do that, here we go. I've got register already checked, registered pictures, automatic detection of hot pixels, although that's not going to matter until I'm actually stacking. I have unselected stack after registering because I do not want to. I am simply looking to get a simple scoring on the images. Over on the advanced, I just leave it checked with use automatic threshold. And so let's get this started. It's going through, it's running, and in a moment down here in the quality, you're going to see the score come up, and it will go ahead and rearrange these and rank them by quality. And I had previously done a video on this and told you about how great that was, but I have found a few quirks in the scoring that happens in the Deep Sky Stacker. Now, I'm not going to do any complaining. I mean, this is a program that does amazing stuff. It's free, and you learn to work around the quirks. Okay, so right now, the files are still in order there. I'm going to jump over to the quality column, and this is my lowest. I like to have it flipped so that my highest scoring image is up at the top. Now, with my highest scoring image, I can always place the cursor next to a star. It gives me a nice zoomed in image. And here you can see within the circle, these stars look really nice. They're nice and they're round. And then from there, there's no particular number that I can give you as a cutoff between what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. But what I want to show you, whoops, I hit the wrong key on my keyboard. Anyway, what I want to show you here is at the bottom of quality. So down here in the quality, I've got this image that's a 1.77, and you can see something happened here. Now, on the night that I was shooting, and I don't know what happened on this particular night, but computers being computers, at some point my ASI air just went stupid, and it was jerking my telescope back and forth, and and it couldn't guide properly. It was losing the star that was right in front of it. And anyway, you can see this is clearly bad data. And going up through here, because if you remember, the top image was scored at over 2,000. And you can see you've got all these images that are less than 1,000. They're pretty bad. So as a general rule, anything that's going to be less than 1,000, and I have to adjust this all the time depending on what the image is. Here's another one on the screen. You can see where it just messed it all up. So I selected all of those images that had a quality score of below 1,000. And so here I am. Now, the thing I want to share with you is sometimes the Deep Sky Stacker still messes up on some of the images. And that was why I was mentioning we can't complain about this. This is a free program made available to all of us by a very generous person. And without it, I'm not sure what we would do. So anyway, let's take a look. And here's my point. I'm starting off at this bottom image. And even though these are 1,000 and above as far as their quality score, I'm going to flip through them. Now you'll notice that some of these stars jumping around because some of this is different nights, different setups, different angle relative to the target. But you notice this one, it's scored up here in 1,048. And you might be looking at this as I was, and I'm like, wait a minute, why isn't this one down there scored at like 5? Like that whole bunch that we got rid of. Well, I've come upon a few things, again, as I said, this is a free program. We can't complain, nor should we because it's free. But there's some of these images that the Deep Sky Stacker will score as high, and they're not good. And so with that, and I have that line selected. I'm gonna hit delete. It will go away. The image will stay there. I've got to click on the next one. There's another image that's no good. Delete. I got to reselect. Okay, so we're back to having good images again. And I'm going to go through every image. Now, a couple things that I have noticed. Okay, here's another one. Got to get rid of this one. Is that sometimes with these images, and these are just flat, the program goofed. Whatever in there told it there was enough signal to noise ratio that it was good. And again, I don't know exactly how it does its scoring, but one of the things that I've also seen happen on this on occasions is that as some clouds will come through. Okay, here's another one. We're going to get rid of this one. As clouds will come through, all of that extra reflected light that the image is picking up is telling Deep Sky Stacker that it's a good image. And what I think is happening is it's incorrectly perceiving that reflected light off of the clouds as being good signal when it's actually just clouds. Okay. And so what I want to say is the scoring is great because it goes through here. It's looking at that signal to noise. It's going to spot things within your stars relative to their roundness and all of that good stuff. But I strongly recommend you still need to go through frame by frame and take a look and see if there's any giant anomalies that stick out at you. And I'm going through this kind of quickly. Now, one of the things that I have noticed is these bad frames, as I am getting into the higher scoring quality, I'm really not seeing those frames show up anymore like I did earlier. And then once I do get through here, because as I said, Deep Sky Stacker can miss some things. Once I get all the way through, I'm happy with the images I have, and I don't have anything that's jumping out at me. Okay, so I'm all the way at the top. When I actually do the registering and stacking of all of this, there is this select the best, and there you go, we'll select that best 90%. And I even though I went through every single image, there's a certain roundness that sometimes isn't there on an image. And so in addition to the fact that I've done a cursory weeding out, I will set this to a 90% just to get rid of some of those additional images that weren't good, that maybe they're bad at the star level. So I'm going to jump down here. I'm down at my lowest scoring image. And so let's just move through here. And with some of these, that star is nice and round. And it does make it a little tricky because, as I said, this is jumping around, it's dithering. And what I'm looking for is sometimes you'll see stars in here that are just not that round. And that's where that additional 90% comes in, that the program can still throw out. Sometimes I think on this image there might be some elongation. Yeah, I'm noticing a little bit of elongation on this star. And so by having it set at 90%, There's a nice round star. That additional 90% will help with getting rid of what I missed on my cursory inspection through. So there you have it. The Deep Sky Stacker is amazing. Again, none of us should ever complain whatsoever on this, but a couple little things that can mess it up. Sometimes clouds going through will trick the program into thinking it's got a higher signal ratio than what it does, and it'll count that as a good quality image. And the other one is sometimes it just misses, as you saw with those stars that my mount was kind of jerking around on. So there you have it. I hope that helps. If you haven't been scoring your images, I really want to encourage you to do the scoring on them, because I found that by doing the scoring and weeding out, I'm getting a better sharpness to my images than I did previously, where I was just throwing everything in, telling it use the best 90%. And I think some of the flat out bad images, well, I'm sure of it, some of the flat out bad images were, occupying that 90%. So there were some lower quality that was still getting through and then being put into the final stacked image, which ultimately results in a softer image. So there you have it. If you're not using the scoring in Deep Sky Stacker, I want you to consider using it. It really helps. But still, go one by one and, do give it a quick visual. So if you like what you see in here at AstroVenture, consider liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, and sharing the videos out to help the channel grow. And until next time, I wish you clear skies and uneventful nights.